Hello there, this is Bic Benedict. We're playing Dead Space 2 on Zealot difficulty, and this is my no damage run of the campaign. And we are on chapter 9 of 15. And this part here, I can't guarantee that you'll get the results that I got because I've done this before, and on my other guide I placed the mines in a similar fashion. But it is pretty much a guarantee that you'll kill most of the leapers and also this slasher who comes up. I mean, you can be as confident as just turning your back on the leapers. So it's more of just something to do for fun and to experiment with how the mines work. I think there's 4 enemies right there. But you might be wondering, why are you doing this, Bic? Why don't you just do a guide on Zealot and or hardcore and just do the campaign? Why does it have to be no damage? I personally don't know why people do no damage runs, but on games like this, and trust me, there aren't many that I know where I would be comfortable doing this. Like the campaign, it's not hard enough on the hardest difficulty. Now, this guy comes out every time. Be kind of cautious because sometimes he'll go right through the mine, or sometimes the mine will destroy the vent that he breaks out of. But what I was thinking was, when I did Dead Space on Impossible back in January, I did the campaign and it was just completely simple. And I'm not trying to brag or anything like that. It's just that when you play a game so many times, like, it gets to be ingrained in you that you know what's around the corner every time. You know how to manipulate enemies. You know the strong suits of the weapons. You know what to avoid on enemies, and you're just confident as you go down the road of the game. And if I had done Zealot with and taking damage, it just wouldn't be hard enough. So that's why I'm doing this. But mind that here you can go back at any time to save your progress. There's going to be 1 puker here and then 2 leapers. Now, if you ever make a save point for yourself and disrupt the natural checkpoints of the game, you will find yourself in a lot of cases having to do a lot of running back to where you were before, because what you're doing is you're overriding the checkpoint that the game is going to give you on the chapter, naturally speaking. So I personally do go back and save sometimes. Other times, when I know there's a checkpoint and I'm comfortable with it, I'll just keep it as it is. For instance, right here there's a checkpoint, so there would be no reason to go back downstairs and save it. Now, this enemy here is called the Divider, and as far as I know, killing him yields absolutely nothing. But you do need to take care of him. He'll sprout these small enemies here, and it's not too bad. Now, if you're playing on hardcore and you're using this as a hardcore guide, be very, I can't stress how important this next room is about not dying here, because it has a compression window. So the best thing you should do is just to take this guy out immediately, turn around, stasis. Don't shoot this guy from this position because your bullets will go astray and shoot the window most likely. So you want to shoot this guy from this perspective. You don't want to smash out that window. Even if you're confident that you can hit the switch and close it, sometimes Isaac will be pulled out so fast that you don't even get a chance to shoot the switch. So that is a very dangerous room. But don't forget that ruby semiconductor right there. And then you also get another checkpoint out here, and we'll have another Guardian fight. So this particular chapter, the Stalker sequence might give you some trouble. I did it on my first try, but that's only because when I did this, actually, you know what I did? Now that I wanted to elucidate on what I actually did for this game, I did do a like a hardcore run where I literally was saving all my checkpoints and everything and recording it on hardcore, and then I got my hardcore achievement, and either before or after, I did a hardcore guide, but I was playing on Zealot, because everything is the same on hardcore as Zealot, except that there's no checkpoints on the former. So I made it perfectly clear that I was playing on Zealot in the description, and that was actually my annotated run was on Zealot, not on hardcore. But since I had already beaten hardcore, I felt that I had the right to be able to do that. And anyway, so that's one dangerous room. And then when you get up here, don't shoot this guy until the lift goes up, because your bullets won't connect. This is a very dangerous area too, just because of that exploder. If he gets close to you whatsoever, just freeze it and then move past him. But if he is attempting to slam his grenade arm onto the ground, his intention is to explode it and detonate it. And you can be running past him, and even if he's doing that while stasis and he's doing it in slow motion, you can get killed from it. So do not underestimate the exploders if you're doing a hardcore run. So I do want to make it clear that this guide will help you instrumentally on hardcore as well as Zealot for doing no damage. So here's a save, here's a bench. If you do need to go down to the store, personally I did go down to the store a couple times just to offload some stuff, and I picked up the vintage suit here. One of the reasons for that, I don't like it aesthetically. I don't like the tank that's on the back. It gets in the way. But when you pull this out, you'll have this guy to deal with. Just throw this thing back at him about 4 or 5 times. Take him out. The vintage suit, I forgot what it does actually, but it has 20 slots for equipment, and it also gives you a 10. How much of a? It's, I think it's 10% discount at the store. I don't think it's 20. Anyway, I think it is 10%. You get 10% off at the store, and I think that's really great. Now, what I'm doing here, only do this right here of using these detonating mines if you have a lot of them. What actually happened was I got to the stalker section, and I didn't have enough, so I had to fall back on an earlier save. So it's all well and good to do this, but just remember, if your detonator mines aren't very strong as far as the damage output, you're not going to kill them. See, they'll walk right through them, even though they have taken damage, but they just have a lot of HP to begin with. The stalker sequence that's coming up actually is one of my favorite in the game, and I would say that it's probably the most challenging. But when I did this guide originally for the annotated run on Zealots, I probably spent about like half a day trying to perfect it. So you have to realize where I'm coming from and my experience level and the hours I've put in with this game. So that is to serve you at the end of the day, but also realize I'm not bragging whatsoever. I'm humble about how good I am and how poor I am sometimes in games, but when a player puts in a lot of time, it's just inevitable that he will start to learn things and just truly start owning the game up. So when you come over here, there's going to be some cash, like quite a lot of money on the left side to pick up. And I don't know, I love the stalkers, and I love this room. It's sort of a puzzle what you're doing here, because you're trying to fortify yourself, you're trying to find the best route. So one of these cysts you will want to leave and have the partially destroyed stalker fall into it, or run it, or kind of drag himself into it, I guess is the best word. It's okay to kill this one, but when you advance up here a little bit, you're going to have the stalkers spawn. There's going to be one spawn of stalkers, and for these guys, I'm going to keep everybody. I'm going to keep them to the right, so that if they try to make a move on me, they will get destroyed with the mines. Okay, now when I said before that these enemies take 2 shots, I was not thinking of the more infected, darker, the blacker versions of them. Those take 2 shots no matter what you have, no matter how many perks of suits and guns you have, how many nodes you have in the damage slot, they take 2. So What my best advice here is stay to the left and continually use the mines to make sure that anybody who's coming from your right will get killed. Now, a moment ago, you saw that exploder or the cyst destroy the raptor that was half dead. Okay, so with those placed thusly, we're going to move up and deal with one of the final raptors here. If not, if he's already dead, then we'll be dealing with an exploder. Okay, I don't know what it is about these enemies. Like the noise, everything about the sound design of them, the look is great. So that is the first of the 2 exploders. And once you approach this venue, you'll probably see this guy hopping over and then just take him out, or have the mines take him out. See, the mines are instrumental because you can be completely distracted and have enemies getting killed while you're unaware of it. And it's just lovely once that awareness kicks in that I just destroyed some enemies and I didn't do anything about it. It's that passive killing of enemies that I love. But one of the mines I'm going to stick up here, because what these raptors do is they jump on top of the boxes and they invariably will run into a trap like that. So place that one right there. Get the text log if you want to. Don't forget the power node. And then that's the end of the first wave. The next wave, it'll be some more raptors, but they don't spawn until you get to the other side of the room. So we're going to put that back up there. And I don't like to go to the right now. I like to go around the edges of the map and carry these kinesis canisters. That way you can control the spawn, because you're going on the extreme perimeter of this map, and they won't spawn until I'll show you exactly where. You'll also hear them too. You'll hear their shuffling and their squealing too. But so far, none are spawning. But what we're doing is laying traps for their eventual arrival. And the next target, I believe, is going to be one more exploder. So this can get really extremely out of hand if you're just going around and not following a set pattern. You don't have to do my prescribed pattern, but do a pattern so that this works out every time for you and there's no surprises. But we're just going to walk up a little bit, have the exploder jump out, take him down, and then that will trigger the rest of the stalkers. There is also a guardian, but by the time you get to him, you should have no stalkers left. So my advice is just to continually lay the detonating mines. Like, do you see right now, I have no protection to the right, so I need to either focus on killing these stalkers, because they can come from the left or to the right. They do give you a chance where they kind of peek out and see where you are, and it's just lovely. I love it. But other times they make their move really quick and you can't anticipate it. Sometimes you just can't keep up with them because they're so fast. But that should be the last of them. There are going to be a couple more scenarios with them, but I personally don't feel they're as hard. And what else do we have left? We have a guardian left, but you can use this canister, and I don't know if they give you a checkpoint anywhere. I don't think they do. If they do, it's probably not until this point. So oh no, we're not going to use a canister. We're going to use a detonating mine. And I didn't discover this little alcove until having done this quite a lot. But there is some nice credits in this little area behind here. It's an ingenious hiding spot, I find. So now we can buy seeker shells. We have some med packs to sell back. And it looks like we're going to do some fast forwarding here. But if you're having any trouble, just use the detonating mines in that section, develop a pattern, use the kinesis canisters, and just remember where all the spawn points are for the exploders. There's just 2 of them. And then in this room here, you'll have some cysts. You'll have 1 slasher sneaking up on you, and just to let you know that I don't know everything about this game, this guy actually did sneak up on me over here. I wasn't scared. It was just one of those situations where by now they do give you a checkpoint at the elevator. So on those things too, you can actually you can go close to them, bait them into shooting. I'm talking about the cysts. You can catch the projectile and stasis it and then throw it, just like you throw the exploder's bomb. And you can use that for a weapon if need be. Now this part here, what you do is you throw 4 or 5, and I've edited out every time I have to wait for these because it takes a long time. So what you want to do here is only use the canisters in the wall. Save the 2 canisters on the ground, because we're going to use the 2 canisters on the ground to expedite the killing of the next tentacle on the ground. So you want to take these 2 things with you, because I think it takes 5 shots, and there will be some tripods in your way too, but I don't think there's ever more than 1. So what you want to do is develop a little collection of them in the center, and the tripods and everything, they don't kick off until you throw 1 canister at the tentacle. So what you want to do ideally is bring those 2 red canisters down here, collect your items, and then get all the canisters from the receptacles and just put them in the middle, and then to start throwing them. Usually you can throw 3 before the tripod even comes. Then stasis him. While he's stasis, throw more canisters. It might take 6 on this particular one because it has more damage integrity. But once he's down, there will be more tripods, but your goal here should just be to take care of the tentacle. And this is very simple to do, no damage, very simple to do, period. And if you have to, use your objective finder, because there are 2 elevators that look exactly the same there, and you could get confused. It happens to the best of us. And the next chapter, I haven't done all of it, but it is definitely, one of the most suspenseful parts in the game, because you're going literally back to the Ishimura. And one of the great quotes by Isaac was that Ellie at some point says, "Is it safe?" And Isaac says, "I don't know how it can be," and he's being serious about it. So we're just going to go a little bit of the way into here. I probably have sped this up. And for the first time in the guide, we'll have the title card for Chapter 10 coming up. But just get the couple of items in this room, and we'll go up the ladder. And it will be, I suppose, a reunion with death. Take care.